You look pretty great.
Get a little something, thank you.
So, what's your name?
My name is Trina Baby, aka Mozzie Boo, but
Nice to meet you.
thank you.
My name is Yashara.
Nice to meet you, Yashara.
Thank you. And what is your story?
Yo, I'm from the hood, so it's like I see all type of crazy shit every day. But I must say this: New York has lost its ever picking mind because it's like there's no unity in New York anymore. Like, you know, before it went from, you know, chain reaction, one person holding the door open for another person and the other person holding the door open for that person. But now it's like every man for themselves, and it's like, it's sad, you know? It's really, really sad when we see the youth is more affected than anything. You understand?
Definitely, yeah.
I feel like it's up to the parents, you know, and a society to come together as one to help mold and shape the future of the youth coming up in the world, because a lot of the foundation that made New Yorkers strong and that made New York is broken. And it's like, you know, people used to come to New York because they heard about our attitude, you know what I mean? But in a positive way, the food, you know, the New York culture and stuff. But it's broken now. I feel like.
Why do you say broken? What was it like growing up for you?
I'm from Harlem, okay? Excuse my little, I'm on my way to work, but I give my time. But I'm from Harlem, you know, and since I lived in Harlem most of my youth growing up. And out there it's different. It's like, you know, it's more of a family because everybody basically stick together. You know, when I was coming up, I could have beef with a girl or a bunch of girls and we scrap it out. But guess what? We partying the same night together. We in the same spot partying, hey. You know, and we put the bullshit to the side. And then the next day, you know, we want to continue to beef, then we beef. But, you know, it's more like it was a time and a place. And it wasn't like, you know, petty shit where you dying over something that could be settled basically the same day. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I say, like, now it's like the youth don't I feel like the youth doesn't have a positive role model to look up to, because it's more of what they see on TV. They want to emulate, you understand, or simulate or try to be like it, instead of, you know, back when I was coming up, we didn't have them, you know, the Cardi B WAPs and all of that, where you get naked and all this other stuff. We didn't really have all of that, you know. So now I think it's a little bit different, you know. I mean, we had our little, I suppose, what, you know.
Definitely, there was
little
no,
and
but
stuff,
the
but
lack of structure in household makes a lot of young black youth go and seek out structure from other places. So it's like people like Cardi B are becoming role models.
Right, and don't get me wrong.
She's a good person.
No,
not
listen,
necessarily a role model.
Right, you know, and she says that she's not a role model to look up to and all of that. I get it, you understand? But my whole thing, when I say Cardi B, I'm just using an example as far as, like, you know, when we was coming up, my mom is Jamaican, so she handed me a couple of back home Jamaican ass whoopings, okay? And it definitely did shape my future. But in this generation, it's different. You get in trouble for scolding your child to do something right. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it's the fact that people want to mind everybody else's business, don't know when to mind their business, or better yet, don't want to jump in when they supposed to jump in. Like, you see 50 people jump on one person, that's not even supposed to be tolerated. You understand? Nobody's supposed to sit back and just allow that to happen. You understand? Exactly. So people want to jump in when you saying something positive or something constructive, instead of, you know, jumping in when it's something negative that could be resolved. You understand? So that's just right.
Definitely. Thank you.
Oh, you welcome.
Like, what's your name?
My name is Jay.
Nice to meet you, Jerry. My name is Yashara. And what is your opinion on Black Lives Matter? What would you like to say?
Well, they've mattered for a long time, and it's just it's a pity that has to be something that half the community seems to feel the need to debate. It's obviously I feel that the sentiment is such one that's so obvious that it shouldn't have to be said, but unfortunately it does. Some friends and we were pulled over by a police officer. Now I'm technically Puerto Rican, but police don't see that when they look at me. But one of my friends was in the back seat of the vehicle. He was black, and I remember they came to ask us questions. Then they asked him to get out of the vehicle and searched him. No one else. And it was just a huge eye-opener as to how different his life experience was as opposed to mine, who was very much passing as white. It was shocking. But this was in North Carolina, but you know, I've seen that sort of behavior from police in New York as well. It's
Wow.
sort of just, it's like they take an entirely different stance when somebody, a black man, is in the room.
Definitely, that is very true. Thank you for sharing that.
Well,
I'm a white dude from a mixed neighborhood, but when I used to go to my black friends' neighborhoods, I could smoke weed in the white neighborhood all day. But when I go to my friend's neighborhood, the cops would come and throw you in the van, even though everybody was smoking. And then they would just do that all day, and that was all the cops' job. They'd dress in plain clothes, so you didn't know they were police. And they would just come and round up whoever it was, throw them in the van, and that was a 24-hour lockup minimum. And now it's legal, and now people could do it, but you don't hear no apology from the government or nothing to anybody. And that was the only reason I used to get bagged up like that is because I was hanging out with black people. That's it. I would go do the same thing in a white neighborhood all day, and that stuff scarred me for life. They used to tell me they'd knock the teeth out of my mouth. They used to call me the F word, all types of stuff. You know, it was totally different from white neighborhood. It was a whole different story from black neighborhood. A lot of people don't understand because that puts the fear in you. You know, when you got that confrontation with the police, you never feel safe again. And I do credit De Blasio a bit. Everybody hates De Blasio, but ever since he came in and he stopped that whole madness, now I feel a lot safer. I've always been afraid of the police, but now I'm not. I'm still afraid, but now I'm not as afraid because they still do it in certain places, but they don't go hard like that anymore. You know?
Thank you.